Join Gator great Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning, and it's a live edition, folks, of PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. We'll have JC here in just a minute. We'll have Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com recapping everything. Basketball season kicks off tonight. You got a doubleheader in the O'Connell Center. The women play the Ospreys of North Florida at 5:30. Then you hang around. At 8 o'clock, the men play the Loyola Maryland, Loyola of Maryland. I'm going to ask JC if he knows the nickname. They're the Greyhounds. Greyhounds.
Greyhounds, yes. Brother. Got the Greyhounds.
Yes, they are. JC, I don't know if we have anything to talk about today, but I want to first touch on this. Let's talk NFL briefly. I don't know if anybody saw what Josh Dobbs did. It is remarkable what that young man has done. And the reason he's lasted as long as he is, because we all know he's extremely smart. I mean, he's an aeronautical, whatever, NASA. I mean, that's his major. What is it, aeronautical engineering? I can't even say
engineering. Yeah.
So he's very smart, but he played his tail off yesterday. And then, obviously, C.J. Stroud sets a passing record for rookies. Just a phenomenal day on his part against the Bucs. I watched most of that game. And I don't know if you saw it, JC, but their kicker went out early in the game. They had a backup running back that kicked off, and he even made a field goal. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, QB, they stole the day. I also want to say I thought Antonio Pierce, who led the Raiders, is actually not just in the running for interim. Well, he's the interim head coach. They're actually going to consider hiring him full time. I thought the Raiders played inspired for the first time I've seen in probably over a year. And by the way, if you're going to that basketball doubleheader tonight, make sure you bring your flashlights because of this ridiculous daylight savings time expiration. I mean, you're not going to be able to see when you park your car. It's so silly. I had a friend in Boston, Massachusetts, who got there yesterday, and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or evening or dusk or whatever you want to call it, the moon was right above his head. It was pitch black. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I just wish they would just leave the damn thing alone. Arizona stays on Mountain Time. They don't fool with it. So they're 3 hours behind us when we're on Eastern. I mean, when we're in daylight savings time, and they're 2 hours behind us when we're not. But really, I just don't like it, bro. I'm with you. We need this to preserve the daylight. It's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah, it's totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. So, all right. So, JC, there was a game Saturday in the swamp. I lost my mind in the booth at the end of the game.
And I'm telling you, you were absolutely justified. I listened.
Well, here's the thing: is I have done. So the look. You can sit here and question play calling. You can question poor tackling. You can question, did that guy take the wrong angle? Blah, blah, blah. The one thing that you cannot question is procedural deals that happen in a football game. Yeah. As I stated on the air, Billy did a good job calling timeout when Arkansas was getting ready to kick the tying field goal to save time in case ETN gets a long return, give us a chance to have a chance to win the game. So we get the ball with 46 seconds, I believe, with no timeouts. Yeah. The quarterback was in complete control of the operation. It's what he's done his whole life. So basically I said, you can work the middle of the field because they have to stop the clock to move the chains. So long story short, we get it to almost it's pretty much field goal range with 16 seconds. The clock is stopped. Okay. The first thing is everybody on the sideline, that includes the tight end coach, the wide receiver coach, teams coach, everybody should be saying, okay, we do not have enough time to run where you rush the people on the field. Mm-hmm. There have been studies done for years that, and I'm going back to my NFL days, 18 if you got 17 seconds, you may be able to get the operation off, but it's a throw 5 yards, the guy goes straight down, and you rush the field on. Okay. We didn't have to do that. We did not have to do that. So I said on the air, 16 seconds. This ball has to be thrown towards the sideline, complete and out of bounds, or throw it out of bounds, or you have to throw it past the first down marker, catch it, and then spike it. You have plenty of time to spike it.
Plenty.
We catch the ball. Boardingham makes a good play, and then we're running people on the field. I lost it on the air. I lost it.
I heard it.
I'm not proud of it, but I lost it because this is stuff that I've done my entire life. And Graham Mertz was in complete control of the situation. So, but I go back to my point is, if you're, because I was a backup most of my time. So you would be on the sideline saying, okay, hey, field goal team, this is what we're going to do. We're going to throw this ball. We're going to clock it. Then everybody can just jog out like they normally do to kick the field goal. But for some reason, none of our coaches, and this just isn't on the special teams coach, this is on every offensive coach, to let everybody on the sideline know what is going on. And it freaking pisses me off that you lose a football game. Now, could a Trey Smack made it? Yes. But everything that went on screwed up his routine. If we just naturally clock it and just walk our team out there and go through his normal routine, I bet he makes it. So that took me over the top Saturday, because that has nothing to do with having an offensive coordinator, having a defensive coordinator, or calling this play. It is stuff you practice on a daily basis.
Yes, you spend weeks practicing that. And QB, we are in week 9. It's not like they just started the season for crying out loud.
JC, my high school teams knew what to do on that because, again, now let me back up and say this.
All right.
Some staffs are told you coach your position and your position only, and you don't talk during a game. Now, every team I've been on or that I've coached or played on, I'm that guy that's given every scenario, whether it's right or wrong, but I believe everybody needs to hear what we're trying to do. So,
I mean, communication.
That's my 2 cents, and I'm very upset about it.
Well, it's frustrating.
It's not about winning or losing the football game. It's about that moment in time. Our quarterback was in complete control of the operation, and somebody on the sideline was not.
The buck stops with the head coach. It has to, otherwise.
But I don't think he had anything to do with it, because I saw him yelling. I just don't know what the other coaches were doing. That's all I'm saying. Well, so let's leave it at that. It's all right. Well, here's the other thing. You know, I can't tell you how many people keep texting me about an offensive coordinator. Say what you want to say. Like I said, you can question. That's your opinion. But, folks, we scored 36 points.
How about this, folks? They had a quarterback that had 2 weeks to get ready with Kendall Tucker calling plays. Kendall Tucker replaced Dan Enos. In 2 weeks, this team was ready to score all these points. Did you see the numbers they put up against this defense of yours? They had 280 some odd yards rushing the ball. They were balanced, almost 500 yards of offense for the team that was statistically the worst team in the conference on offense, dude. Before they played Florida, they scored 3 points on Mississippi State. They then fired the offensive coordinator. They got this guy named Kendall Tucker to organize the new offense, or whatever it was.
Tucker?
Well, whoever was calling their plays, I think his name was Kendall Tucker.
Guyton's his last name.
Kendall Guyton, excuse me.
Kenny Guyton.
Kenny Guyton. I'm sorry.
Spit it out.
Okay, Kenny Guyton. I'm as wrapped up about this as you are, QB, and it's not tough. I meant Guyton. Okay, fine. Kenny Guyton. Who the hell cares? They had 2 weeks, and they had the worst statistically offensive.
You know what's crazy is,
and they had 500 yards of offense.
The word was that they decreased the playbook for KJ Jefferson, and I swear to you, if you go back and watch that game, they ran like only about 6 plays the entire game. We just couldn't stop.
Great. Listen, if you can get 500 yards of total offense with 6 plays, I think you've got something. At least on that day you do, until somebody figures it out. But give me the stats say what they say. They were the balanced team on both sides of the ball. Florida has to find this attitude that is missing on defense for I don't know how many years now. How many years has it been since they have lost that headhunter mentality on defense. And I don't know if Austin Armstrong's the answer. I'll tell you what I want to see. Maybe here's a solution. Why don't we just let Mike Peterson be the defensive coordinator and pay him $2 million and say, hey, Mike, teach these kids what the hell to do? Because I would rather listen to him than some guy from Southern Miss or wherever he came from. I would rather listen to him than Todd Grantham. I would rather listen to him than anybody McElwain had around here. I thought, DJ Durkin was a good defensive coordinator. I thought he did a good job. But
he's at A&M and they're losing games too.
No, they are, but their defense is probably the better part of their team. Right now, the defense is not the better part of this team. Why don't we just say, hey, Mike, here's $2 million. Coach the defense.
Who are you talking about?
Be changes. Huh? Mike Peterson. Freaking Peterson's who I want. If Antonio Pierce can lead the Raiders to victory in one game, I think people will listen to Mike Peterson, bro. And that's the kind of mentality that is missing on Florida's defense, period.
All right, I'm trying to.
He's a Hall of Famer, bro. Tell me right now, is Mike Peterson a Hall of Famer? Linebacker?
Oh, he's in the UF Hall of Fame, I believe.
Okay, that's right. And he is excellent. I would have him on the staff as the defensive coordinator yesterday. And I would say, let's start over. Can we just rip the Band-Aid off and start over? Because even without Jaden Daniels, I still think LSU is going to go up and down the field on him with
Nussmeier. Yeah, it's different. He's a good throw.
I know he's not.
He throws into a lot of coverages, but the running game will be different.
Oh my God, they're going to go up and down the field, and then forget about Florida State. Just forget about those two wide receivers. Going to just do what the hell they want. I mean, everybody knows QB. Look. You've seen enough. I've seen enough. Sometimes in life, you're told not to believe everything you hear. In this case, I'm starting to believe that you're not supposed to believe everything you think. I think Billy's a good coach. I just don't believe, I don't believe he's going to win a conference here. And if I looked at what I looked at last night was next year's schedule, QB. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but next year's schedule, dear God, I don't see 4 wins. Not with this group. They're going to have to change everything again. So, good luck. I hate it.
Yeah, it's anyway.
Good luck.
Right, let me see. Let me get some of these texts on the Titan Mar text line.
Mike Peterson. He's my new defensive coordinator of Florida.
All right.
I'm being serious about that.
Right. Gator MF on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing says, agree. We need Mike Peterson. We need real leaders.
I mean, we need people.
Do you want Mike Peterson as the head coach, JC, or the DC?
Oh, no. I want Kerwin Bell to be the damn head coach. I have for 15 years. And I want Mike Peterson to be the defensive coach. And I want people who know what the hell they're doing on both sides of the ball to run this organization. I don't need 416 assistant coaches and staff. Well, I need people that know what the hell they're doing. If Bobby Knight were a football coach and he came to Florida, he'd have 6 guys on staff and say, let's roll, baby. And they would do just fine. They need people with mentalities and attitudes that are just not what we have today. And I'm sorry, Mike Peterson, DC, Kerwin Bell, OC, pay him $10 million, pay Kerwin $10 million. I guarantee you'd be here in about 5 minutes. Get Mike Peterson down here, get Mike Peterson $2 million, and let's just go from there, okay? Can we do something smart around here for the first time in 2 decades? I just need something to get excited about.
So you're saying we need to do what Georgia did, hire 3 coordinators that all played at Georgia.
Well, hell yes. You need Florida people. You need Florida people. That's why the university they admit kids don't know anything about Florida football. And the football program has to find Florida people who have won. Hell, put Tebow back on the staff. He'd do it for $1.5 million, even though he's probably
he won't.
Well, put somebody in there with an attitude of Florida. It's Florida, the winning attitude. The only guy that's won here, other than Urban Meyer, was a former player. He won the Heisman Trophy, and he did the 95 thing. Or 96. So the game was actually played in January of 97. But at any rate, what I'm saying is you've got to get Florida Gators who have won in the past. Hell, throw your ass up in there. But I'm just saying,
thank you.
Let's get, if Kerwin called you, QB, don't even lie. Don't even lie. if Kerwin Bell called you tomorrow after I hired him, because I'm the new AD, and you came up and he said, hey, what's the cost of going to be, QB? And he said, Shane, I'll give you 1.25 to start with bonuses. You would be signing tomorrow.
But there's a stipulation in that. I ain't recruiting.
So we get a recruiting guy.
Okay, I'm in then. Because he tried to hire me at Valdosta. He tried to hire me at Western Carolina. It wasn't worth my time.
That's not Florida, bro. That's not Florida, okay?
All right. Real quick, Ronnie from Pensacola on the Titan MR text line says, I heard Lynn Amity's name come up. Was OC under Galen. Lynn Amity recruited me, by the way. As a distinction of being play called. Last time we were shut out 16-0 to Auburn in 1988. We couldn't complete a pass in that game, if I remember correctly.
I was at
this is I don't know who this is from. To all you Gator fans that booed when Max Brown came in, when Mertz was shaking up, it was 3rd and 12 when we ran the ball. Seriously, you actually thought Napier was going to air it out? Idiots. I guess you're talking about the boo. They weren't booing Max Brown. I think they were booing Billy. I even said on the air, JC, as soon as Mertz went down and Max came out, I told Sean Kelly, I said, I would throw it deep right here. That's my philosophy when
that's
kids
the last
get
thing
hurt.
You think they're going to do. Yeah,
exactly. And it's safe. It's so safe.
It's so safe.
It's so safe. All right, here we go. 9-4-1. That's what he goes by, or she. That was ugly. Best defense is a good offense. Yes, we scored points, but with our defense, our offense has to be able to run it a little to eat clock. We won the time of possession, by the way. We have to shorten games due to our problems defensively. Overtime series, we started by throwing to our 4th best option, Khalil Jackson. 1 and 3 did not touch the ball. We need to feed 1 and 3. Yes, overtime was not a good series. The problem, I told Sean when we fell behind and then we scored in like 2 plays, I said we scored too quickly.
Yeah.
And they did. They drove down and kicked the field goal.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody knew it too. Everybody knew it in the stadium. But I was listening on the radio because I had to get back because of some traffic issues, and I just didn't want to be in it because I knew everybody. I just listened to you. I don't think there was one thing you did. Listen, if you can't call a game and be emotional and have your heart into it, good or bad, then you're a lousy, I almost said a bad word, you're a lousy announcer. You are a very good announcer and color guy because you tell it from the inside. It comes from the inside out. And you just don't mumble jumble a bunch of words that anybody up there can say. You tell us the real story, and I like that. And if it's bad, it's bad. And it's bad. 5-4. Dude, how about if you had a $100 ticket in Biloxi that said over 5.5 wins, and you're sitting at 5-2 before the Georgia game, and right now you're looking at 5-4 with Missouri, LSU, and Florida State. You're getting a little sweaty about that $100, I would think.
Yeah, or you really
I hate saying it, but dude, let's just look at the schedule. Good God.
Shane says, 10 targets to number 22. I love Khalil, but I still, and I say it nonstop on air, when we line up in a 3-by-1 formation, it is man-to-man, lots of green grass, and why we don't put number 3 or number 1 over there to isolate that corner,
yes,
I don't understand it. That's what I don't understand. I don't know who's in the box, why they're not communicating that.
Yeah. I mean, you see that on NFL Today on ESPN, what that means. Isolate the corner. You know, Well, listen, man.
Pierce here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Employment, says, I need a dog to kick. JC has a little rat you could go kick.
No, Toto.
Toto wouldn't like that. Redware is a family-owned business that prides itself in excellent customer service while providing quality and affordable promotional products and customized apparel. We're speaking with JC on the Titan MR hotline, also courtesy of Duffield Home Improvements. We were supposed to have Scott Carter. Scott just texted me. He thinks he's got strep throat. So we're going to let Scott sleep in today.
And listen, I got some things to say, too, about some pregame stuff. See, look at that. QB, is that a rat?
That is a rat.
That is not a rat. It's just a fuzzy dog with too much hair on her head.
Weighs about 4 pounds.
12. QB, I went to the best part of my day was before the game. And I went to this Harmonic Woods tailgate. They've been doing it. It was the most fun I've had with the most energy I've seen in a tailgate party since my days in college. I'm not exaggerating. They have no shortage of enthusiasm and energy at this tailgate. My man, Robin, who they call the mayor, has organized this over the years. The partying is on Museum Road and Frat Row right there in front of Lake Alice. All are welcome. Come all, come one. But I want to send a shout out to my man Brett, who gave me 2 Iron City beers from Pittsburgh. His wife Lindsay, who was in there with the DJ, Josh, who serves. They also honor the Armed Forces of America. How about the Army? What they did to Air Force, but God bless the Air Force. My friend Cameron, we had Cody with the beer pong. We had Gail, the mayor's wife. We had this guy named Todd, who served in both the Army and the Navy. Thank you, Todd. We had Sam, we had Tyler, we had Will. We had a great time. That was the best part of my day, and they deserve better on that field than what we are seeing right now over the last 2 years.
JC, did you do any shots?
Thank you, guys. Love y'all. I did. Well, I had to do one. They have this board, and they turn it up like this, and then on the other side of the board, it has images emblematic of the armed forces of this country, and they do the national anthem, they do the Pledge of Allegiance, they do the drums, they do the thunder, and they point at people, and that means you have to take a drink, and they dance around like crazy people, and it's wonderful. There's more energy at that tailgate, and Mayor, you do a great damn job. Keep it going. This product will get better at some point. It has to start with me hiring or me becoming the AD and hiring Mike Peterson.
You're going to be the AD?
I'm going to be the AD, and I'm going to immediately hire Mike Peterson to be the defensive coordinator. And I'm calling Kerwin, and I'm saying, get your Mayo ass down here, and let's win some football games, because this guy has forgotten more about offense than anybody around here knows. And I've been saying it for 15 stinking years. I don't know why anybody won't listen to him. But Kerwin Bell is my head coach. That's my guy until this dude can figure it out. On the sideline, before the game, after the game, I don't want to hear about the recruiting. I don't care. I know it's important. I want to see what the product is on Saturday. That's what matters. Thank you.
Laney on
Facebook
brought to you by
I need an oxygen, man. I need an oxygen.
Take a breath. Take a breath. He says, Shane, did you listen to Allie yesterday? No, I'll be honest with you folks. I don't watch. I have to talk on so many different affiliates, like out of town shows. And I tried to eliminate my listening when I have free time. Yeah. So anyway, we got so many. I'm trying to get to some of these. I mean, I can't get to everybody's.
Just do your best.
Joseph says, Mertz had a great stats throwing up to 14 yards. He was 2 of 12 on passes 15 yards or longer. Throws behind the line. Look, if anybody wants to put this on Graham Mertz, y'all are blind. The dude knows how to play quarterback. He's a damn good quarterback. I'll take him any day, anywhere, on any team. And I promise you.
How would he do with Kerwin Bell drawing up plays?
How would he do with that team that you root for?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because your guy started doing what I texted you and told you what he should do. Drop back, watch the rush, and run.
Well, we talked about that. Devise a pistol or some sort of offense that emphasizes his legs, but he can throw it from time to time, specifically the deep ball. Yeah. But Alabama in the second half is a team that just for some reason is completely different than the one that plays in the first. And some of their numbers in the second half of their games, I guess we're talking about Alabama, but some of their numbers in the second half of these games is stunning. I mean, they completely shut down the opposing team on offense. So Kevin Steele makes these adjustments on defense that I'm not seeing around here. Okay, he knows what the hell he's doing.
He's been coaching. He was the linebacker coach when I was with the Panthers, JC.
Yes.
And he got into a fist fight with Kevin Green on the sideline.
I mean, is that crazy? Kevin Green was an animal. But Alabama has outscored Tennessee and LSU by a combined score of 48-7 in the second half of their 2 games. And if they can figure out defense and keep Georgia somewhat at bay, they'll have a chance in that game in Atlanta. And all they need for that to happen is to beat Kentucky or have Ole Miss lose to Georgia, which will be QB. I said to you a month and a half ago, watch out for Mississippi. Mississippi.
You know, I will say this. What I will say about Ole Miss is their defense. Now, let's be honest. They had a chance. A&M missed a damn field goal to tie the game up to go into overtime. True. I mean, I like Ole Miss. Everybody knows my history with Ole Miss. Love Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I think they get blasted this week.
You do?
But
you don't think they'll score though? You don't think they'll score on that team?
I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish that was not the case. Alabama in the second half of major games allowed LSU 7 points, Tennessee no points, Texas A&M 3 points, and Mississippi 3 points in the second half. Kirby Smart will know what to do with Ole Miss, but I think Lane Kiffin's got something also up his sleeve. So it should be entertaining, at least. It should be entertaining. And how do you feel about going off to Baton Rouge for a 7:30 Eastern time kickoff?
6:30 there. 6:30 there, JC.
I know, but you come back here after the game. So it'll be back to Eastern for the old QB. Better just take some no-dos and hang in there, buddy.
The problem is when we're on the plane ride, there won't be any. Maybe there'll be some West Coast games we can watch on the plane ride back. So
there will be. There will be.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, by the way, congratulations to the QB. We should get whistles. Let's bring out the finest meats and cheeses to the QB because QB won 8 picks this weekend on the Peachland Dental Picks Contest. He went 8-4-1. First time this season in 9 weeks that the QB has buried JC in the picks. He went 8-4. Bring him the finest meats and cheeses.
I don't even know who I picked, quite honestly.
Well, you picked Kansas State, you picked Clemson, Oklahoma State, Pittsburgh, Washington. You took in the NFL, you went 3-0. You took the Chiefs, great pick. You took the Eagles, they always win at home, and you took them Cincinnati Bengals.
Who's my Super Bowl picks again, JC?
Cincinnati and Detroit.
Yeah.
It looks good. It looks good. I mean, look, the Niners can't get healthy. The Eagles are a problem, yes. But and I still think Dallas will have something to say about it. They're 2 games behind Philadelphia in that division, but they will play Philadelphia at home. And the Eagles have a crazy schedule going forward. But go ahead. Get on.
All right, we got a couple of YouTube. JC, you're going to be held a little bit longer here to communicate since Scott's sick.
I got
all right, fine. So Jim on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, he says, if you want Prime as our head coach, drop your name so I can block you.
No, I said Mike Peterson.
No, we're talking about Deion, though. What a mess they are.
I know what we're talking about. This guy, look, they're going to lose again this weekend. But Mike Peterson, $2 million, and he's on your sideline getting this thing together and going to get what they call dogs to come play on defense. That's what they need. How about the linebacker position, QB? When would we ever have linebackers other than Ventrell Miller that you really get excited about holding the opposing offense? I don't remember. I can't remember.
Lewis says here, Shane, you have missed the boat in 2010. Bell's the head coach, Ricky the wide receiver coach.
Here we go.
Horn at tight end, Robert G at the. All right, look, and I've had a bunch of people text me. They go back and so a lot of people don't get to listen to the show live, so I get all these texts after the fact, and a lot of people obviously don't hear the whole show. Let me tell y'all again about the Kerwin Bell situation. Kerwin's one of my closest friends. I talk to him at least once or twice a week. Okay?
I guess. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Are you taking notes here, JC?
No, I'm going to write something down.
Yeah. So Kerwin has been in charge, meaning as the head coach, everywhere he's coached except one place, and it was a huge mistake. He was the head coach at Trinity Catholic, in charge. Went to JU, in charge. Went to Valdosta State, in charge. And he said, okay, well, maybe I need to get a head coaching job in a Power 5. Maybe I need to go be an OC in big time boy football. So he took an offer from Charlie Strong. He said it was the worst year of his life. He will never do that again. Never work for anybody else again. So then he gets hired at Western Carolina, and they're having a hell of a year. The dude can coach. I mean, I know he can coach. I've been wanting him there too. But my point to the story is he's not going to be working for anyone else.
Great. We understand that. You told me that back when he coached JU. You see these little signs right here? What are these signs?
Dollar signs?
Those are dollar signs. The people I saw on the 7th and 6th floor on Saturday have more of this than anybody I know, and some of whom I know personally. Not only that, but this school has a lot of money and they hide it. But here's the truth. You can do this and Kerwin will say this and be here tomorrow. And I don't, this is what's going to happen. You're going to go on Russ's show. You're going to go on Dooley and Cardozo's show. Anybody, that's the most ridiculous thing I've heard. Kerwin Bell will not come. Let me tell you what's ridiculous. Making the same damn mistake over and over again and asking people to pay for it to support it. This is the answer. We have it. get his ass over here, and Florida will get better as quickly as you can imagine because it's going to be run by Florida people. Florida people, not some guy from this place and that coach over there. Florida people have to come back to Florida to save Florida. Mike Peterson, defensive coordinator, Kerwin Bell, head freaking coach. I will say it. You can call me an idiot. I could not care less. I'm impossible to offend. I am saying get the right people in place and quit screwing around and asking people to pay for it. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it has to be said somehow. In sub-public form, it has to be said because nobody else is saying it. So I'm going to say it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity and platform. I appreciate it. Meanwhile, I'm going to go watch these guys play in the SEC championship game against some stinking Georgia Bulldogs. That's what I'm
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Carl says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. I want your thoughts on this, JC, before I give mine. Can you imagine the recruiting or the portal that Deion Sanders could pull off at UF? Not to mention the wailing and gnashing of teeth coming from Tallahassee.
Well, listen.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gets run out of Colorado.
What did Dan Lanning say? He said something about they play for clicks, we play for wins. We play for championships. Nobody knows who Dan Lanning is, but they're getting to know him. And people in college football, moms and dads who look at programs, they look at the leadership of those programs, and they know who Dan Lanning is.
Colorado is the biggest dumpster fire you can think of.
And poor Deion, he had a nice little month and a half of fun and all this, but the reality was, like we all predicted, that these better coaches and better teams would come in there and punk them around. Now, maybe next year they'll get more players. Let's be honest, they haven't had much time.
But JC, I'm talking about what he's done to his staff.
Oh, I know.
He demoted Tim Brewster, who's been with him, who was here as a Gator, demoted him the other day. He's now an analyst from tight end coach. And he took the guy that, they changed offensive coordinator, demoted the guy. It's a mess, dude. It is a mess.
They had 1st and 10 from their own 1 yard line with 46 seconds left in the first half. They were in the game. They were only down 7 points, whatever. Instead of trying to get the other team to burn timeouts or run the clock and get out of there down 6, they fooled around inside their 5 yard line, turned the ball over on downs, or basically punted it over, and Oregon State scored right before the half and the game was over. Just little things like this, I think you can't afford to do when your team is learning and when you're young and when you're trying.
And they're terrible. They're not very good. They ain't going to win another game.
So they're going to go 4-8, and that's better than 1-11. But it's still 4-8.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
This is something here. It says, Shane, 18th season, HBC and Urban won 80% of their games and accounted for 24% of UF's all-time wins in their 117 years of Florida football. In the remaining 99, Florida has only won 50% of its games. We are right where history says we should be. This is what I've said. This is what I've been. If you go and you look at the winning percentages at Alabama, it's 3 coaches, pretty much.
Yeah.
Bear, Gene Stallings.
It spans a long time. It spans a very long
time. But if you go to Georgia, it's 3 coaches. Vince, Mark Richt, Kirby. Great coaches are hard to find, is my point.
But they stay, though. But that's the thing. They're not run out of town because they're not incompetent. And the problem people are having today is that this makes the world smaller. This is social media. And what happens look at that who popped up. But that is social media. And this makes the world smaller, and word gets out. These kids know more today about other things than they ever have in their history. I mean, you can go anywhere with this thing. And I think that's part of the problem. Not as part of the problem, but it's part of the landscape that you have to navigate through. You have to adapt.
The question here on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumbing. Shane, please tell Mertz, which I don't talk to Graham Mertz, it's no penalty to throw the ball away instead of running out of bounds 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He does it at least once. Like, if we're going to sit here and worry about that, I saw 3 guys in the NFL do that yesterday. It happens, dude. It happens. If y'all are going to sit here and worry about a quarterback, you obviously have no clue of watching.
How come nobody's talking about the defense?
That's what I've been talking on here about the last 3 weeks, I believe.
What don't people remember David Little and Wilbur Marshall and players like Javon Curse? We don't have those guys, man, and they've been missing for a while now. Where are those guys? And I think a dude like Mike Peterson, for the 17th time this morning, a guy like Mike Peterson can find those players. He was a all-pro in the NFL. He knows what he's doing. And that's when Florida's defense was glorious. When Florida and Florida State played, there would have been criminal charges brought about if those games weren't on the field. They hit so hard and so nasty. That's how you play defense. Dallas Turner changed. Well, Alabama was up 14 on LSU and he hit Jaden Daniels, but that physical nature just reverberates. And when you have guys like that.
All right, JC, we're going to take a quick time. We'll come back and then we'll keep you for a few more minutes and we'll let you go because Scott's not feeling well. He said he would play injured, but I told him to go back to bed.
Yeah,
we'll take a quick time out. We'll come back.
Hang in there, Scott.
You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official injury and accident law attorneys of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Campus USA, put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. Dave & Buster's, eat, drink, play, watch. Duffield Home Improvements for your window, siding, and roofing needs. Radware, your local provider of promotional products, uniforms, and apparel. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm Insurance, Radware, F45, Quality Plumbing. Our touchdown sponsors are Adams Ribs, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteak, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Thursday, November the 16th, come celebrate the release of our Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, Lugo's Risky Rum. This exclusive release features a special spread of our farm-to-table food, rum cocktails, raffles, and a meet and greet with me. Each ticket includes a bottle of Spurrier's Single Barrel Select Risky Rum. And I'll sign the bottle if you'd like. So get your ticket before they sell out at spurriers.com.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Silverback Concrete's a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists that build commercial structures with unrivaled quality. Silverback Concrete, you stand on it, we stand by it. We got JC on the Titan More hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvement. Scott Carter, he's got strep throat, so I told him to go back to bed.
Now, I'm ahead and pulled up some YouTube comments because
okay, hang on a second, hold that. There's a YouTube I need to read here from Shane 1178, brought to you by Quality Plumbing. He says, "I'm late coming on. Did you talk about the debacle at the end? Yeah, go to the front. I gave the whole situation of what I said on the broadcast. It's a simple procedure. The quarterback was in complete control of it, and that's another story."
I hear Chris, and I appreciate Chris here. Chris S. Be patient, he says. Nature's only been here a little less than 2 seasons. I guess that's true, and patience should be a virtue. But again, sometimes you shouldn't believe everything you think. And I think this guy's a pretty decent coach. I do. He wouldn't have gotten the job if he wasn't. But I don't believe they will win a title here with him as a coach. How's that?
Yeah, Andy asked on Facebook Live, brought to you by Meldon Law. Shane, how long will it take Miles Graham to be a force on defense? Can he do it in his freshman year? Look, it's hard to gauge going from high school to college what you can do. But I will tell you this. I firmly believe Miles Graham is a better linebacker than anybody we have right now on our roster.
Yeah.
Shane says, seriously, how does half the field goal team run on the field with 7 seconds left? How do we know we were going to spike that? Go back to the beginning. I gave a 10-minute.
You laid it out.
Synopsis of how the operation works. Every coach over there on the sideline should have been telling them the situation of what we're going to do, because you did not have enough time to run the team out there with 16 seconds before that play started. I don't want to rehash. People just go back and listen to the show. I will give you exactly how it was supposed to happen. And it did. The quarterback was in complete control. He threw the ball and ran up, called clock. And y'all saw his reaction when he went to the sideline.
Results speak for themselves. Again, Arkansas was the statistically worst offense in the conference and maybe in the country until they got here and got well. I can't accept that, my man. I just can't accept that. Florida has to win these games. They have to win these games. And we've got Missouri and LSU now.
I picked us to win 8 games because I saw the skill players we had.
Yep, you did.
But we aren't using our skill players the way I would use them. As I told you, I thought the 3 freshman receivers were as good as I've seen since Ike Kwesi and Riedel.
Mm-hmm.
I think number 3 has proven that. I think Andy Jean, I don't know what his deal is. Why? I don't know if he's got a hamstring, why he's not playing. I don't know why they're not playing Mizell.
I don't either.
But I would I would play 1, 3, 8, and 6.
Yep.
Until they cannot run anymore because they're out of gas. Well, but I would not put anybody else out there on the field. And I would put number 1 or number 3 opposite the 3-by-1 formation and go.
And I'll never get upset, in spite of what I heard on SEC Network. I'll never get upset with Pearsall on that first play at the beginning of the game. The other dude made a play. He made a play. Yeah. Okay, that kind of thing happens all the time. Last night, Dalton Kincaid was in hand as he was being flipped upside down. Sometimes these defensive guys make plays. I'm waiting for Florida's defensive guys to make freaking plays. But
we made a couple. They actually got 2 turnovers the other day, believe it or not.
Okay, true. But I am saying though that they have talent out there. But on the defensive side of the ball, I'm looking for it. I'm looking.
Okay, I gotta do this right here.
Go ahead.
I don't know who this is from, but it says it does seem like we've had coaching issues at times. Strange, since we have the most staff in college football. Okay, and then he says maybe hire an OC so Billy can clean up these coaching issues and special team. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. We have a lot of analysts. I don't know why we have those analysts. But technically, those analysts can't be coaching during a game, okay? But my point to the whole story is the analysts that Nick Saban and Kirby have hired are the Todd Granthams, the Charlie Strongs, the Kevin Stills, the Lane Kiffins, the Bill O'Briens.
They turn into coaches.
Have you ever heard of all of those, JC?
Yes, I have, and they eventually get hired on staff.
Okay, yes. I couldn't name one analyst on our team. I wouldn't know them if they walked in my house, is my point. Okay. Secondly, again, I don't have are there issues on offense that I would like different? Yes. But I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks, special teams and defense are my concerns. And again, let me go back and preface this. There's a special teams coordinator. And then every position coach helps the special teams coach. Just like there's an offensive coordinator, all the assistants help the offensive coordinator. There's a defensive coordinator. All the assistants help that. It's not just one dude going, this is the way we're going to do it. You cannot coach special teams by yourself. So when you have field goal block and field goal, the O-line coaches help with that. When you have punt return and you have kickoff return, the wide receiver coach is responsible for that part of the game. Sure. So it's a collective of everybody. That's what pissed me off so bad, that last scenario of the game. Because everybody on the sideline, I'm going to do it again, because it just procedural stuff just drives me nuts.
Same number.
Everybody on that sideline, if you had a headset on, should turn around and say, hey, field goal team, right here. This is what we're going to do. We're going to complete this ball. We have plenty of time because the chains will move. The clock will stop. We will spike the ball. Okay. It's a dead ball. We have 35 to 40 seconds to say, okay, do we have a whole field goal team here? We got 11 guys. Let's jog out there in our normal routine and kick the game winner. That's how it works.
And
that's why I lost it on the radio.
It's amazing how you can explain that in 90 seconds. It really is. But it should be that simple. Jim on YouTube, Jim M. Kerwin Bell would be a multi-year rebuild again. I just categorically disagree with that.
I disagree with that.
patently
Kerwin has immediately everywhere he's been.
Everywhere
he's won immediately.
He's up at West Carolina. Where the hell is that, by the way? Western Carolina. It's in
up
Western
in the
Carolina.
Mountains.
I mean, come on, man.
This guy knows. It's the western part of the state, JC, in the mountains.
I'm going to say this. I would have Kerwin have you get paid 1.25 to start with.
I don't have time to coach.
Just listen. Have you put 1.25 to just play call?
I want to be an analyst.
I'll get the coach up at St. Andrews in Jackson, Mississippi. His name is Johnny Nichols. He used to hold field goals. I'd get him on staff drawing up plays, and not one team, if we had the right personnel, would know what the hell to do with that. How about that? I just threw that out there. Nobody knows what I'm talking about, but some people probably do, actually. So I think I
just want to be an analyst, and I can show up every now and then, JC.
But do you like money? I mean, do you like this?
Yeah, but I can still get paid and just show up when I need to. I'll be in charge of all the procedural stuff.
$60,000? I mean, come on. You get real money, Coach Matthew. I love the sign of that. But listen, I'm not here to just make you into the next offensive coordinator at Florida.
No interest.
The whole point is, and I
need to play golf.
But don't tell me that this would be another rebuild because he's not on everybody's hot list to be the head coach. I don't want to hear that anymore. It has nothing to do with what happens on Saturday, folks. It has nothing to do. You got to get a guy that knows what the hell he's doing, and you need Florida people, Florida, to come in here and run this damn program the right way. And that means guys who have won, guys that know how to win, guys that won't accept losing or excuses. And I start with Mike Peterson on the defensive side of the ball as the coordinator. God bless you, Austin Armstrong. You've given all you got. But, my man, this is not Southern Miss. And I don't care. I mean, maybe we should give him a bit. Todd Grantham couldn't do it. He didn't do very well here. I'm just ready to get some.
He's an analyst at your school now.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah. We'll pay him $60,000. Sit up there and analyze. But Kevin Steele knows what the hell he's doing. And I'll say this. Mike Peterson, you tell me right now one guy at Florida who played defense that you would put up there with Mike Peterson, and you're talking about Hall of Famers. That's who you're talking about. That's who I want. That's who I want. That's who I want. Okay? I'm shouting from the porch top.
JC, do you want this? Do you want this right here? 1966 HBC beer?
Oh, I love that. It's very good.
Yeah, that's available at Spurs.
I had one of those.
Gator games and in the swamp.
Had one of those on level 5 Saturday.
So get you a 1966 HBC beer. All right, JC, before we let you go, we're going to get to this day in sports. Brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life with Campus USA Credit Union. All right, this day in 1869, JC.
Oh.
The first U.S. college soccer game was played with their hands and their feet. Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4. How about that?
Hey, you know what? Ohio State was, how about this? Ohio State was losing to Rutgers at halftime. All right. These schools, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, they wouldn't last down here. They would not. I know they got athletes, but week after week, you play these cream puff teams and you're not tested. And that's why they lose in the playoffs. Michigan, by the way, you might hear something this week on Harbaugh. I think they have to do something.
What do you think they're going to do to him?
I think they're going to suspend him for the rest of the season. The buck stops with the head coach. It has to. He is the boss. With that, but Jim McElwain saying that he didn't know who that guy was in the Central Michigan. He's a damn liar. He lied here when he's talking about death threats, for God's sakes, and he's lying again. You got to know who's on your sideline. You're the CEO of the program. You don't say we've got people looking into it. You're the guy who says and knows who's on the sideline, clown. I mean, it's incredible how people try to get over on others. It's just unbelievable. But I think Michigan's got to do something. Big Ten's got to do something. This story is ridiculous. It's embarrassing, and this conference needs to address it immediately and get on with it.
Andy says on a lighter note, did I see that the band is playing "Move Back, You Suck" on penalties? Can we reinstate Gator Bait already? I had heard Tate. I guess it was at the South Carolina game. Tate said on the air that they were doing that, but we have our headsets on. I can't hear what the band's doing, but they do need to bring Gator Bait back. I wonder how they got that approved. "Move Back, You Suck."
So it's like Kent.
Maybe nobody even knows they're doing it. or
tell
whoever's
you,
in charge, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on around here, Cobra QB. Maybe we'll surprise folks in Baton Rouge. Hope springs eternal, but sometimes you just got to quit getting yourself geared up for something that's just not going to happen.
All right, JC, you only got a few more minutes and we're out of here. This is a text on the Titan MR text line from Dan. He says, Shane, can you talk a little bit about Josh Dobbs? I saw the video of him on the sideline with his lineman going over the snap count. I saw that too. He did not even know the snap count, JC. I don't know if you've seen this video, but he got his lineman around once the kid got knocked out. They're over there. He's taking snaps with the center, and the other linemen are kind of in a semicircle, and they're talking about what their snap count is. And the dude comes out there and brings it from behind and wins the game. He was unreal.
His poise and his calm demeanor in the pocket on that last drive to throw the winning touchdown, or whatever they did. I think it was a touchdown at the end. Was just remarkable. And he's been around. I mean, he's a journeyman guy, so he's been around the league. But to see his teammates in that locker room, I watched the locker room portion of the post-game shows on these networks, and when he walked in there, those Viking players just mobbed him. And they all love Kirk Cousins, too. This is not about Kirk.
I love Kirk Cousins.
Yes, but Josh Dobbs, man, you got to root for a guy like that. And the Vikings have won, I think, 4 or 5 straight.
They're 5-4.
Yeah, so they're going to give Detroit their best run in that division. I don't think Green Bay, or certainly not Chicago, but that's a great story, man. To look at some of the great things that happened on this weekend, we had a lot of it. Arizona, Jed Fish. My God, look at what they did. And they have turned on the winning machine at Arizona, beating down UCLA in that defense. And this guy never played football, but knows football back and front. And he went to Arizona, and they're going to go to a bowl game. Gronkowski's on the sideline going like this.
Oh, you're talking about Jed Fish? Yeah.
Yes, Arizona. And Arizona.
He's done a great job. No question about it.
Just a crazy.
Would you bring Jed Fish back too?
It could happen here. And look, they had nothing to lose at Arizona hiring a guy like that. There's no pressure at Arizona. There isn't. I mean, it's a much different job than here. But everybody knows what I want. Not sure that everybody cares, but I am getting some good feedback on YouTube right now. Making me the athletic director.
Yeah, JC, you're in line to be the AD. Already on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, Shane, is there a place to listen to the radio call, like to download? I guess you're talking about to go back and listen to it. I think there is. It's an app called Varsity. Yeah, I think so.
No, I was enthralled with your call, with Sean's call in the fourth quarter of that game. I told my driver, I said, stop. I want to listen to the rest of the game on the radio. So we went to the glorious Powerhouse Barbecue over here on Tower Road and 24th, and I bought about $800 worth of food. Gave the driver some, told him to leave some in the car for all the people he had to go back and pick up in traffic.
I'm sure they felt that was safe to eat that food when they got picked up.
Well, it was good. And so, we listened to the rest of your call. I didn't want to go home until after the game was overtime. I was disappointed, of course, like all Gator fans. And again, I want to thank those folks at Harmonic Woods. Just the best tailgate I've been to since college, and maybe better than that. Energy, these people. This team is 10-0 right now. Holy smokes.
All right, before we get you out of here, Anna says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, bingo, our analysts are interns. Analysts. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a great point. Great point.
Brandon says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mello, we need to start worrying about being a top 5 football team instead of a university. Yeah,
well, listen, man.
Nobody cares we're the number 1 public university in America.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, you gotta. Here's another thing. We have kids with great ACT scores and great GPAs not being accepted in here in favor of other kids, foreign kids, whatever they are. We got administrators banning Gator bait. We've got so much crap that they need to get rid of, and they should if they care. That's why Florida people need to run Florida. I have hope for this Ben Sass as president, even though he's not a Florida guy. I like him, and I think we should have more Florida people running this damn football program. Period.
All right,
that's it.
Great job today, athletic director JC. We appreciate your time.
I'm going on
the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Duffield Home Improvement. Ruse Over State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. visit ograinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. That'll be a wrap for today's show, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we got a lot to talk about it. And Gator basketball tonight. Get excited.
Okay. All right.
Bring your flashlight.
Bring your flashlight.
Bring your flashlight.
It's dark. All right. Oh, God.